mean, I'm not like so deep that if you're talking to me, I'm not gonna wake up, kind of thing. But I don't wake up from regular noises or anything like that. So.
We got those white noise sound makers, which is good, but if we don't have it, it's
Can't
like
sleep in the silence.
Yeah, we're just like
that we run a fan all night long for the exact same reason. Sarah can't sleep in the silence. So
and
my favorite time to sleep though is during a thunderstorm.
Really?
I love sleeping during a thunderstorm. So.
Yeah, I can see that being relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terrifies everybody else in my family, but I love it. So
is there a big clown scare in Charles County as there is in St. Mary's? Or
I guess that's what the internet tells me.
Okay, because Chopticon High School's Instagram page. Well, no, somehow there's a Clowns of Southern Maryland Instagram page, and they took a picture of Chopticon's front door and said, "We'll be by tomorrow." It's just like, oh, that's so creepy.
It's really stupid, though.
I know. I just feel like there's going to be something on the news like 10 clowns killed because he said the wrong thing.
There's actually not yet been a single documented case of a clown actually hurting anyone or even threatening to hurt someone. Yeah. They're all just standing there in the woods staring at you.
Yeah.
And they're going to end up being the ones that get mobbed by somebody else.
Yeah, they do it to the wrong person and just...
There was somebody, I did see somebody get beat on the street for dressing like a clown and standing there and staring at people. Somebody came up to him and just said, do you think this is funny? Terrorizing people. And he's like, I'm just messing with people. So, I don't know where I saw that, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of clowns, but... I'm not a fan of people. So if I saw anybody standing in the woods staring at me, I'd be like, dude,
stop.
It's time to leave, kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I just stay home. I don't go out places.
Just hibernate.
Gym and home. That's all I need. And Target.
Gym. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Gym, Target, and home, and Jerry's. Can't forget about Jerry's.
Well, that's on the way home from Target.
Okay.
I'll swing through there.
When's the last time you've been to Jerry's?
Saturday? Probably.
So 4 days ago?
Yeah. It's once a week now, especially since I have the coupon code. So I didn't tell you about this one?
I saw it. Buy one, get one.
Yeah, so there's a buy one, get one coupon
every
code.
time?
Yeah, because I use it online and they never ask for a coupon.
Wow.
And it's like 3 or 4 years old online. I've checked the date of when it first surfaced. So the code is FC1041 and it's buy one, get one free regular cheesesteaks.
So you just buy 2 a month, or 2 a month.
A week.
Oh, okay. You buy 2 a week?
Yeah, buy one get one free.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the regular, so it's $8.50 or something like that. 8
inches. Yeah.
Yep. So a couple times I've bought one, saved one in the fridge till the next day. A couple times I've bought two, eaten both. So
you have to do separate orders on that, or you can just do whatever.
You put 2 in the cart and you enter in the coupon code and it takes away the price of one of them. So
you can start a catering business based off of their lack of IT scanning on their codes.
Yep, it's pretty cool. So
nice.
Thanks goes out to my pastor for passing that one along to me. Because I was just buying the large, which is the 12-inch one, for $12. So
yeah,
now I get 33% more for $4 less.
More for less.
That's
the American way.
I did stop getting mayo on it though.
I don't mess with mayo.
Yeah, so you can get mayo on it, and it's great, and it tastes. It helps soften it up and everything like that. But I saw on the large cheesesteak, the serving size of mayo is 22 grams of fat on just the large, and that's a ridiculous amount of fat for a sandwich and for mayo, because you go home and you put your own mayo on there.
Yeah, it's thin. It's not like
you just use a light Kraft mayo spray or swipe across it or something like that, and it's like 4 grams of fat. I'm like, so they're doing 5 times that much mayo on the sandwich? Like, there's something wrong with the mayo that they're using.
Yeah.
So what I do is I buy the sandwich and then come home and add my own.
Put your own
4 grams of fat in mayo onto it. So it's stupid. Eating out anywhere, fat just skyrockets through the roof. I don't know what people. Have you ever seen the burgers at Red Robin? Have you ever looked up them in MyFitnessPal?
No, I haven't been.
I mean, Five Guys is the same way.
Yeah.
Not as bad, but I don't know what they do at Red Robin and other restaurants that serve burgers. I just don't get burgers anywhere else. But like the fat grams, they've got like 70, 80, 90 grams of fat in these things.
One burger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I think like a double Whopper with cheese or something at BurgerKing is like 110 grams of fat or something like that. It's like 1,800, 1,900 calories in a burger.
They must not drain the grease or something.
No idea what they do. But fat is what tastes good and what makes burgers taste good. So
fat, salt, and sugar.
Probably the best health advice you can ever get is prepare your own food so that you know what goes into it.
Yeah, I have been buying a thing of chicken breasts and just baking at one time and having one each day for lunch. And that's been my lunch.
Yep. That's good.
Yep.
I've been buying a thing of cheeseburger hamburger helper and making that each week. So make that with lean ground turkey. It's actually pretty good. So
nice.
It's got an equal carb to protein ratio, and it's got about half the fat as it does protein. So
nice.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's food scientist.
That's my pre-workout meal prep.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah.
Are we ever going to get to our topic today? I think this is like our longest intro.
Okay, yeah.
If we want this episode to be under 2 hours, this is a celebratory 100th episode, double episode.
Yeah, 2.5 hours
Come
long.
back next week to hear what we're actually going to talk about.
Yeah.
I think we should jump into it.
Okay. Well, this is Hadoken Debt Podcast. It's a podcast about being a family man, money, and nerd culture.
Yep.
So
I'm Barrett.
I'm Charlie. We've been doing this podcast for 2 years.
You wouldn't tell from listening.
You couldn't tell. Every episode seems like our first. No, I actually got a couple compliments that said it looks like we've been doing this for 10 years.
Cool.
I'm like, it feels like we've been doing it for 10 years.
It's your professional video studio that you've set up.
All right, so our main topic is the Jim Carrey motivational speech. He did graduation speech for, I can't remember the college.
It's MUM, and it stands for Maharishi University of Management.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, because I saw Mum in the top corner.
Yep.
And
it was 2014 graduating class from MUM.
Yeah. And
26 minutes long on the YouTube.
Yep. I'll link it in the show notes, but yeah, I thought this was a very inspiring speech.
Yeah. There was a lot of humor.
Yeah. Go figure.
A lot of garbage.
A lot of garbage.
I don't necessarily subscribe to.
Yeah, a lot of fluff to make you feel good, but sometimes I guess you need that to get through.
Eastern philosophy stuff. Being Maharishi University, that makes sense too.
Transcendental meditation. They do a lot of that. Because I guess in that kind of thought process, you do 2 45-minute meditation segments a day.
They actually have I was reading in the YouTube comments, they actually have a program there on transcendental meditation. So I don't know if you can major in that or minor in it or what, but
yeah. So
there was some stuff that I don't care for.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of good nuggets in it.
Yeah.
And it was Jim Carrey, so it was going to be funny.
Yeah. So. Like in the beginning, they introduced him, and he was like, "Thank you. I didn't say sit down. Stand up. I want to milk this for a little bit."
Yeah, that was funny. So where do you want to start? I've got a couple quotes that stood out to me. But I don't know if you had something you wanted to go through.
Well, the thing that stood out to me was he talked about fear and how that plays a part in our life. He talks about his father, and he said how his father could have been a great comedian, but he took the safe route and took I forgot what it was. Accounting job. Because it was the secure and safe thing to do.
Yep.
And a couple months later, he was laid off.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey was like...
I don't know if it was a couple months, but he said at the age of 12, my dad was laid off from that job.
All right.
So.
And Jim was like, he said, my dad didn't try... He took the safe route, but you can still fail at what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because his dad didn't want to do that, but he did it just to pay the bills.
And he still failed.
So
you might as well fail at what you do want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the first thing that stood out to me. I think it's the first thing that catches everybody. It's the first time that the jokes kind of stop.
Yeah.
And the serious part kind of kicked in.
Yeah.
But I really like that. And I think it's a good reminder. Life is filled with failure. And, you're going to get fired from a job eventually. You're going to get rejected for a promotion or by a girlfriend or something like that. So why chase something you don't want and face that rejection?
Yeah.
When you could chase something you do want and get rejected.
And then try again.
And then when you get it, you've got what you want, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because you're not only going to always be rejected.
Right.
You're going to, his dad got hired for that job at some point, so he got accepted before he got rejected. So I thought that was really good. It kind of struck a chord with me because both my parents were accountants as well. And my dad had a really safe accounting job working for county government for a long time when I was growing up. And he also got fired from that job. And I distinctly remember that. And from that point forward, it was like he had this long, stable job where you rely on a pension and all that kind of stuff. And then from that point forward, it was always like 2 or 3 or 4, 5 years at a job, working for private industry, working for, small businesses and stuff like that. But it was never that stability, never that kind of promise of the government's going to take care of you for the rest of your life.
You get your watch after 30 years.
Yeah, and so that stood out to me as a kid because that's where, income uncertainty happened, and my mom was homeschooling me and my brother, so my dad was the only source of major income.
Yeah.
My mom had jobs and stuff, and she ran her own businesses along with homeschooling us.
Yeah.
But my dad was the provider, and I don't remember how old I was, but I just distinctly remember that life was over and dad was looking for work. So kind of resonated with me.
Yeah. What do you think about when he said life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you?
That's a perspective thing, and he said it at the beginning, and he said, but that might not be true. It was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But then he said it again, and he basically said, this is the way I choose to look at it, is life isn't happening to me, and I have to respond. It's happening for me, and I can be prepared for whatever opens up, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I like that.
One of the things that he said was that the effect...
What did you think about life happens for you, not to you, before you move on?
Okay,
Or did it just stand out?
It stood out, but I tend to agree with it because it happens for you, I guess, in a sense of you have more control over things than I think that we have more control over things than we think we do. So it's life is for you to do what you want to do. So that's why I agreed with it and made sense to me.
He had another line that was kind of like that. I think it led into that. Something along the lines of our eyes aren't screens.
Yeah, our eyes aren't just viewers. They're projectors.
They're projectors, and they're laying a second scene over what's actually happening to us. And he goes on to say that second scene is usually fear-based, and everything that's happening to us is gonna come back and bite me, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a good way of looking at perspective and how you do control it, because something happening to you and something happening to me, we are both going to react to it completely different way.
Yeah.
Even if it's the exact same thing.
Right.
So, like, for example, a car accident. That can happen to somebody and be like, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. I got in a car accident, and now I need to get another car, or I need to fix this one, or I'm broke or something like that.
Yeah.
And to somebody else, they would be like, I'm so thankful that I was able to walk away from this. It could have been so much worse. So, I mean, that's a hugely devastating situation that can be looked at multiple ways.
Yeah.
So I like that part, the second projector, the second scene being laid over what's actually happening. Because we don't know, things happen and we don't really know why, and we don't really know other people's motives and everything like that. So you punch me, I have no idea really why you punched me, but I can choose how I'm going to respond, receive it, interpret it.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can change. And we're going to talk about that next week in our episode. So,
kind of going along the lines with this, the life happens for you. He says asking the universe for what you want, but I'll ask God for that. But, a lot of times I think I don't ask because I don't think I'll get.
Right.
So, and I think about daycare children, or my own kids, they just ask and ask and ask and ask, and then finally it's just like, okay, I'll give it to you. Like stop bothering me.
Right.
It must be important to you because you just want that thing.
Yeah.
So maybe our way of asking in life is just going after things and just being resilient. Like, okay, I failed at this, let me do this. All right, let me do this, let me just try this. Yeah.
That's funny because I'm reading a book on praying right now, and our pastor actually just started a series on prayer. And one of the verses that Jesus talks about is actually, he tells us to be like children and keep asking, but he actually talks about a story where a guy comes to a friend and asks for bread.
Yeah.
A friend has come to visit, and he said, I'm not going to get up and give you the bread, but because of this, because of his friend's persistence, he got up and gave him the bread. Not because he was a friend or because he wanted to be nice, it was because he wanted him to quit bugging him.
Yeah.
And Jesus actually says that's the way that we should be when we pray and when we ask things.
Yeah.
And it is that persistence. We ask once and we don't hear an answer, or we get a no or something like that, and we're just like, oh, well, that's it.
It's over.
So I asked for it and God didn't give it to me, and I'm never talking to him again.
Right.
But our kids aren't like that. If they asked us for a cookie and we didn't give it to them, they'll come back in 2 minutes and ask.
Yeah. Like, did you not just know what happened 2 minutes ago? I said no. No. All right.
The other part of the other really cool part about the book on prayer is that prayer is helplessness. And the reason our kids have to ask us continually for stuff is because they can't do it themselves. And often we don't ask because we figure, I don't need to ask God for that. I can just make it happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't need to ask him to, help me in raising my kids because
I can just do it myself.
Figured out, or I know how to fix a car. I don't need to ask. I know how to close a deal. I don't need to pray about it, kind of thing. So. So. There were a couple cool things. I've got some that I disagreed with too.
Sure.
That I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I'm going to jump to one of those.
Okay.
So he said, your need for acceptance can make you invisible to this world.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
And I get what he's saying, because need for acceptance is take the safe route and I'm just going to be an accountant and hide and stuff like that. But there are a lot of people also who are not accepted, who are still not making an impact for the world and are invisible to the world. So I think the bad thing is to say, if I'm not accepted, I'm automatically making an impact on the world.
If I'm not accepted?
Yeah, because he said your need for acceptance will make you invisible. So you won't have an impact on the world if all you seek is acceptance. the wrong way to take that is to flip it exactly opposite and say, therefore, I will have a significant impact on the world if I'm not accepted.
If I'm not accepted, right.
And so we get everybody who's like, I'm a special snowflake and nobody understands me.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world is just like, no, you're weird.
Yeah.
And you're not making an impact on the world because you're weird.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, so I'll use this example. A deadbeat dad. They're not accepted.
No.
And they're not making a significant impact
No.
on the world. Or, you know, somebody who can't get a job because of the way that they dress or the way they talk or the way they act.
Uh-huh.
They're not accepted, but they're also being so far rejected that they're not making an impact on the world. I think there's a way to...
Yeah.
Jim Carrey has made an impact on the world, and he's followed his own path. But he also hasn't followed his own path to the detriment of listening to his audience. And I think that's where it comes in. It's like, you need to know who you want to make an impact for.
Uh-huh.
And if if your desired audience doesn't like that thing, don't keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get that audience. You have to be acceptable to someone.
Yes.
If he just kept making bad jokes and never got off the stand-up circuit and got booed off the stage all the time,
yeah,
he wouldn't have had an impact on the world. So because of some level acceptance he had, and some level of against the grain rawness, he's been made visible. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Hadoken!